and you have these things called legions. And your legion is kind of like your buddy, your buddy that you call upon. That's a legion, by the way, if you have the gameplay. There you go. So yeah,
it's bigger than the character.
I know, and you have different types of legions you can call upon. One, it's a sword. We actually have two in this particular version. There's a sword and arrow right there, and you are the character. And really, it's about this kind of this combat that is like kind of teamwork, right? It's like synergetic action is what we're calling it, and you have to kind of be able to execute moves. Look at Demetrius. He's, by the way, when I say Demetrius, he's the guy playing right there, and being a good cop, not jaywalking. Very good, thank you, and it matters.
Oh
no, why are you serious? You could, and now he's laughing right now because okay, so. Basically, you're a cop trying to figure it out. There's something called the astral plane, right? And a bunch of enemies and demons or whatever, bad guys come out of the astral plane, and they're trying to destroy. Thank you for not jaywalking. And trying to come out and try to attack the planet. And your job is to defend the planet using these legions. And so while you're he's depositing and picking up kind of cans and stuff like that. What's interesting is when you're not fighting, there's a little bit of fun.
Rewarding good citizenry?
Yes, you are. Funny enough that you are supposed to be a good example, the shining example of a police officer, and that's what you're doing. Right now, Demetrius is actually hacking into a camera because the main quest is to actually find a woman named Jenna. And what that camera is actually recording of where people were saying where Jenna was going. So he's kind of hacking into the system, see what recording was there, and then you can see where she actually was. So that's the main quest. Of course, while you're doing the main quest in this small little hub right here, there's a little area you can run around and find some more side quests. So there's main quests, there's side quests, and we're showing you a little bit of the investigation of it, right? You're trying to find this person, you need clues, you need to talk to people. So I think Demetrius is probably going to talk to a couple more people in a minute.
It's like Sherlock Holmes from the future right now. Like he's looking for clues and trying to sleuth out where she went.
Yeah.
Now, with respect to the combat, I mean, the fluidity here, it looks like the combat could be pretty intense. Are we going to see some of that, and what's that like?
Yeah, so before we get into the combat, because it's going to be really hectic, I'll say this. The combat is interesting because it mixes the stuff that you know about Platinum Games, really fast-paced action, very combo-based, but you're going to have to learn how to do this teamwork with your Legion. Now, for example, a standard combo would be like, yourself times 5, so it's just ZR times 5, physical attacks times 5, and then summon your Legion like that. Did you just shoot him?
What happened to the good citizen that was playing?
Okay, look, it was just a stun gun knockout. They're not, look, see, everything's fine. He's there, he's breathing, he's a fanboy, it's okay. It's fine.
It's going to cost you a lot of recycling to get your rep back up.
Okay, so speaking of the rep, right, and you think I'm kidding. So the rep, when you pick up like trash and you don't jaywalk, you be a good cop, you can actually use some of those duty points and actually spend it and upgrade yourself. So there is benefit in being a good, upstanding.
I like that message that you're including in the game.
Hey, it's important, And look, there's even like little scores you get, and you want to make sure because you can level up your character that way too.
If I'm a bad cop, does that take me in another direction, different skill points or anything, or is it just it slows me down?
It'll probably just slow you down. Being a good cop, there's a different kind of skill tree, or at least kind of growth for you being a good cop, and you can unlock certain benefits and power-ups as separate from defeating enemies, things like that. And now I'll get to the combat later on, and I'll go into it because it gets pretty wild.
Tell me a little bit about the world that we're in right now. I'm already, from the very first second we loaded in, seeing some visual jokes, like some nods to, I guess, Lion King on Broadway and some other things
you saw
around.
that. Harmony.
Harmony is where we're at?
Harmony, I think it's like Harmony Square, Harmony Plaza, I can't remember what name we settled on. But it's like the small area that's basically like a Times Square. Large screens, a little bit of, kind of making fun of, or kind of riffing off of real world kind of elements in Times Square. But it is definitely kind of a futuristic fantasy world. It's not like right now that there's a giant whole astral plane enemies are actually attacking here, right?
I'm really looking forward to those digital crosswalks, but yeah, the aliens too kind of place it in the future.
Yeah, so here's an example of Demetrius about to run into one of those rifts, and we're going to see some of the combat here, which really I'm super stoked about because I'm a big Platinum Games kind of guy. I played most of their games, especially like Bayonetta, 1 and 2 when they were on our platform. So I'm really into the combat and the intricacies of it. So he's jumping into the astral plane right here. So
with the combat, do they ease you into it a little bit? I know sometimes these combat systems can get complex. Is there something they do to bring players into it? That way they can feel equipped to take on these challenges.
Absolutely. They start nice and slow. First you have first you start out with basically your X-Baton is what his weapon is holding. Right now, the X-Baton is in his, I think it's probably just in a small baton format. And you can change your X-Baton into 3 different things. So if he presses up, down on the plus control pad, he can switch between different ones. There's like a small baton, there's like a sword, and there's like a gun. Now, After you learn that, they give you your Legion. Your Legion, right? So he's switching to gun now. Your Legion, there's two, you'll start with one Legion. Let's say Arrow, for example, he's starting with that right now. There's a certain combination of your weapon and your Legion that allows you to do certain combo attacks. So for an example, if it's ZR times 4, wait a second, and then ZL, that may be specific for the gun and the sword type specifically. But if it's like ZR times 3, quickly press ZL, wait, press ZR, and then hold ZL, that could be something, a different mix between your weapon and your Legion, and you have to unlock all those in a skill tree. But they start you off slow, but it gets really, really deep.
You're gonna have to sit with me when I play and be like,
it's so good.
You gotta press the Z 3 times, Rachel. That's what you're screwing up.
Well,
this looks very. Am I independently controlling my Legion as well here, or am I just issuing certain commands to it?
So it's both. So in other words, your Legion will be next to you most of the time. If you're just running around with the left stick, you're just gonna be running around, right? That's the human character, your character. If you press ZR, you'll attack with your character. ZL issues your Legion to attack or move or something else. If you want to control your Legion, you saw Demetrius do this earlier, which you could tell your Legion to go around a character and actually chain and bind them. So once an enemy is bound, they can't really move, and you can deal extra damage, and they're pretty much, you could switch up your weapon, set them up for a particular combo, whatever you want. So you can hold ZL, and then you can just steer with a stick, and then you can summon and move your Legion around. It even has other applications. You can send your Legion out to an enemy in the sky, right? And then you can hold ZL, tap ZR, and you can auto jump and fly to your Legion, so you can get your body off the ground and into the air to start combos.
You actually use it as like a grappling system.
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
And then, it's
I'm seeing him switch between melee and shooting.
Yeah.
How do you empower the player to have different play styles?
It's all about the enemies. There's a wide range. We call them chimeras. They're basically the enemies. There's a wide range of chimeras to deal with. Some of them take a humanoid form. Some of them are a beast form. They all have different patterns. Like this one is a shield, right? Now, usually what you should do is focus on a sword. Demetrius has a sword right here. There was and if one of the enemies has a shield, a sword is really good at breaking down that shield. A small baton won't do that. So you have to kind of assess your situation. Where do you want to go first, and then and on the fly start to learn. Oh, I really should be using the sword to break this guy's guard first, rather than, or do we want to go up into the air? Fine. Am I low on health? Fine. Then I will use my gun and my arrow. I'll go up to the air and stay back to make sure I can at least get some health. And you know what I mean? So there's different ways you can play it depending on what your combo of weapon and Legion are.
How punishing are these battles? Like, is this an extra precise execution that we're seeing here, or is this a little bit more of like a satisfying, like kind of however I attack a fight, I'm going to win?
I think it depends on what kind of gamer you are, but generally speaking, I think you can still get through most of the game just by, just basic combos. You don't have to do so much crazy.
I'm a button masher. Be real with me. Can I play this?
Absolutely. I mean, you
I
really
don't need Dark Souls like precise.
No. The appeal of the game is really to be stylish, right? I mean, if you don't have to do it, if you just want to get through the story, go through the story. You'll have plenty of opportunities to just, put it this way. If you're so buff and you just focus all your skill points on your sword, you can be unstoppable. I mean, you can if you want to do that. If you want to say, you know what, I do want to have some kind of crazy combo where I'm switching weapons and Legions in the middle of it, or I'm summoning one Legion, I'm sending the other one out at the same time, and they're both just going rock solid, you can do that as well. It's not stopping.
So it's kind of how you build yourself, whether, I can make it easier for myself, but if I'm a really skilled gamer and I want to be executing things like that,
oh, there's more. I would like to see someone try 100% the game. That's for sure. Unlock all skill points, and it's a lot to do. So, chew a little, get a little. You chew a lot, you get so much in this game. So there's plenty.
You mentioned all the style. What inspired the style? Like, I mean, I've never seen a game that kind of looks like this, especially with a second thing attached to you like that. What inspired the style of the game?
I think it's. I can't speak on behalf of the developers. I haven't spoken to them in a little bit, but I can say that I think they want to go in a bit of a different direction, because a lot of the Platinum games before, yes, they're focusing on a lot of combat, but this one, the way that you can split up your ZR and ZL buttons, and the fact that you have to think about two things, it's a different feeling, because you start off and you're like, okay, I need to focus on maybe attacking for me. You may not be using your Legion that much, and then it'll just click, like, okay, so your Legion does have some usability, right? Then it'll start to feel like you're not controlling two things at all. It'll start to feel like you're just one cohesive unit, right? One team. So I think that's the appeal, that is a different feeling of mastery and learning your team, your kind of your synthesis with your Legion that makes it really entertaining. It's not really, you can't find that in any other Platinum games. So they, it's also the new ideas with the new people on the team. They really got some fresh ideas and fresh blood to change and augment maybe what people will expect, and it should be surprising for most.
That's great. People are going to obviously want to check this out. I never want to play it.
So good.
When can they check out?
Here we go. So we're in File 1 Startups. The file is actually kind of like a chapter for those who are wondering. And right off, you're going to see it right out the bat. We're actually kind of more in a motorcycle chase. I'm on a hot pursuit. So we're going to see a lot of different styles of gameplay in this game. It's really, really, really great.
Yeah, jumping right into the action, wasting no time whatsoever.
We've got several eyewitness reports of gate openings in Central City, Zone 36.
So we're going to start taking down these enemies. And then Sam, why don't you just kind of help describe them?
Yeah. Actually, while we have Taros on here, I was wondering if he might want to talk a little bit about this sequence and about some of the enemies that we're encountering here.
今、タウラさんに目に見えているシーケンスについてお話しいただけますでしょうか。ここがまさに今事件が発生した場所に主人公が向かっている最中のところになってまして、で、攻撃ボタンだったり移動の操作だったりとかっていうのをこうシューティングゲーム風に学ばせてくれるような演出になってます。So this actually is taking place just as the player is heading for the place where an incident has taken place. And to make the controls easier to understand for the player, they're set up kind of like a shooting game.
アクションゲームとしていきなりシューティングゲーム始まっちゃうんでちょっと驚かれると思うんですけども、ここでいろんな会話とかも展開して世界観を最初に分かりやすくなってるんじゃないかなと思います。
And it may be a bit surprising to start an action game like this with a shooting sequence. However, it allows for a lot of exposition to happen concerning the story. As you can see, the people are talking.
I always thought I was going to get hit by that. I'm glad I still dodged it. Alright, so we're almost there. I'm making our way. Whoa!
And about what Taro-san was talking about starting the game with the shooting sequence, I think that just kind of highlights a lot of the gameplay variety that we're going to see in this game.
Oh, I don't want to get hit there. Come on, get him. There we go.
Nice.
And we can see Akira is talking to the main character currently. Akira is the name of the younger twin sibling, so the gender you did not pick becomes a very central character in the story.
That's right.
And then right now you notice that I'm actually using what's called an X-Baton. It's a weapon that's actually going to transform into many different styles that I can use. It's going to go back in my little holster there.
Yeah.
Okay, so File 1, Hot Pursuit. There we go, an S.
All right.
So one thing to note too is that this game has different play styles. Right now I'm set to standard play style, so you'll see that I got an S rank based on time. I'm a defensive driver and I got run and gun. And I got some bonus medicine that I can use to heal. So what we're going to do now is we just wanted to show you kind of the intro. I was really happy to show this off. So what we're going to do is actually jump to a little bit more in the future of this game, a little bit like play it up a little bit later. So I'm going to actually cut to something different. Okay, let me grab this other controller here. All right, let that play. Okay, now once I see that switched over, I'll be ready to start. There we go. So now you can see that I'm actually in the Neuron Police headquarters, I guess you would say, right? Right here, I'm still the same character design. So what I'm going to do now is I want to kind of get to show you guys the basic action. This game has a lot of depth to it. So what we're going to try to do is just kind of break this down for you guys a little bit at a time because there's so much to it and it's super, super great.
Yeah, and to elaborate on what Neuron is specifically, Neuron is a special police task force whose members are equipped with legions. These are sentient weapons. We've shown a little bit in the trailers, but you do need legions to be able to defend against chimeras, who are the interdimensional invaders that are sort of threatening Earth.
So just to kind of break it down real quick, if I tap ZL here, you'll see that I bring up my Legion. My Legion is actually going to attack on its own, but if I hold down ZL, I can actually move it around with the right control stick. So it's going to allow me to have a greater finesse. Now you'll notice that there's a little energy bar down there. As that dissipates, it's the amount of time I have for my Legion to be out. So when my Legion is attacking, I can actually tap the ZR button and get into my own form of attacks. Now this is just kind of the basics. So what I'm going to do here is go into some training with Jin. It's kind of like my first real assignment after I got my Legion. I'm just going to kind of bash through this. I'm just going to explain. Jim wants me to train. He's going to give what's called a Legatus unit. It's kind of what you see right there, house in the back. Everyone that has a Legion needs to have this unit. strapped to the back. It's like a casing, I guess you would say. It's also going to grant me use to the iris. That's why you see my character's eyes light up.
Great. Looks like it fits.
All right, it does fit. So I'm now going to go back. Go back.
That's your legatus.
Okay, legatus cradle. Legatus cradle, excuse me. I'm going to skip to this. Now I need to go train over here, so I'm going to press close this out. And kind of just start with this iris right here.
Yeah, and a little bit more about the iris. The iris is like an augmented reality layer on top of the environment that will highlight special items, and it has other uses that we'll see a little bit later.
So what I'm going to do now is hop into a training program real quick, just to kind of show you guys some basic action. I'm going to fight some chimeras, a humanoid form. And why don't we ask Taro-san about kind of just the creation of legions.
今レギオンの話が出てきましたけれども、そのレギオンについてお話しいただけますか。どのように発想
まずそもそも2体で戦いたいというところからこのゲームの発想はスタートしてるんですけども、単純に、敵に圧倒的な力がありまして、その敵を捉えて、その敵の力を使って戦うっていうような設定になっています。
So from the beginning, we wanted to create a game where you controlled two different characters at the same time, but the enemies have this like very extreme power, and so yeah, we wanted to elaborate on something where you captured an enemy and made use of it.
なのでレギオンと、その敵がキメラっていうんですけれども、すごく似た形状のものとかも敵として出てきたりします。
And the enemies, they're known as chimeras, but among the legions, there are legions that will show up that look a lot like the chimeras that you'll face.
So taking a look at some of the stuff that Dimitris is getting into here, you can see he's using that feature where you can control your legion to wrap them up and bind them. And that'll hold them for a few moments where you can get in some good attacks, just like this.
And I could switch freely back and forth between what's a small baton and what's also going to be called the blaster. All right, I'll just keep playing this. I gotta stop. Oops, I don't want to pull the iris. My bad. Let me stop real quick. Training menu. All right, we want to quit training.
Enough of this program?
Yes, I have it enough. That's enough for now.
That'll do for today.
And again, that's just the basics. There's going to be a lot more options that we'll show later on. I think it's so much fun.
今やってもらってたトレーニングとかはこの警察署でいつでもできるようになっているので、操作が難しいなと思う方はいろんなトレーニング用意しているので、ぜひここで練習してもらいたいなと思います。
So the training that you just saw is one of many that are actually available to use at the police station. So for anyone who feels that they haven't gotten used to the controls yet or they want to practice more, there are lots of those specifically for those types of people. So we'd like them to make use of it.
他にもなんか服を着替えたりとか、ショップを利用したりとか、いろんなことがこの拠点の中にはあるので、そのあたりも楽しめるんじゃないかなと思います。
Besides that, there's also places where you can change your clothes and buy goods as well. So we'd like people to check out those stores and they'll have those other features, and they'll have a good time, I think.
I think so. I gotta say, us all at the office have been kind of gushing over this game. Especially us, the action fans. We really, really love this game. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go and kind of go out on our first real mission using Legion. So I'm gonna go up to this heliport here, meet Max. I'm gonna skip this first little cutscene, then I'll let the rest play so you guys can get a sense of the game world. So I'm gonna skip this one.
And the police headquarters is really cool. Like Taro-san was saying, there are areas of the police headquarters where you can do training, but you can also go to customize your character and to purchase other goods and those sorts of things. So it's like an open environment, and the music in there is rad.
Oh, yeah. Great, great music. All right, so this is going to be another cutscene coming up here, so I'll just let this play out.
We're getting a look at the city environment here.
Very futuristic.
ここが今回発生した事件を解決するためにやってきた場所で、さっきトレーニングルームであったアイリスっていう3D ホログラムを見る機能を使って最初操作を開始します。
So this is the first time that you're going to be able to use what is called the iris, which you guys mentioned before, to be able to solve an incident that occurred before you arrived.
そういった3D ホログラムの表現とかSF っぽい部分っていうのがこのアストラルチェーンの特徴的なグラフィックになってます。
And I think that these kinds of like science fiction type elements are very exclusive to Astral Chain.
Listen up.
Sounds good to
Got
me.
nothing to go on right now except that our perp is probably a Chimera.
Okay.
If it is, we need to know as much as we can before we engage.
All
Time
right.
to look for clues.
So we're going to look for clues, starting with right here. You're going to see right there is a little bit of red matter. We're going to actually use our iris to start kind of using all this investigation
Iris
sequences.
is on, people.
All right.
First, let's see if the security cameras caught anything useful.
Okay. We're going to use this. So I'm going to go and use my iris.
Yeah, so what you're seeing is a holographic playback of what the security cameras captured, what happened before your arrival here.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at everything. You'll see that there's a lot of different clues. I can see the falling debris. But this right here is going to grab the most detail or most interest. So I'm going to start with this.
We call that red matter. Solid corruption. It's all around us, and thanks to the Legion, now you can see it.
All right.
Your Legion can clean it up for you. Go on, try it out.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, like the captain said there, I'm going to actually tap the ZR button, have my Legion, hold it down, and then move it around to clean up this.
What do we have here?
It's going to be a handprint.
Between the size and the red matter, I think we can say this isn't a human handprint. So
I
if
can
it's a
say that as
Chimera
well.
around, it's one with giant hands.
All right, so giant hands. And you're going to see here is what is we have that first police note. So something we want to keep in mind when we're actually trying to solve this mystery, this investigation rather.
I
So
really
now-
like this part of the game because it highlights legions are not used just for the battle element
Correct.
of the game. You do use them during investigations, the exploratory elements. So it's very balanced in how you use legions going forward.
And we were talking about red matter just now, and I was wondering if Taro-san would like to talk to us a little about the general detective gameplay elements, but also go into a little bit more detail about red matter.
今ちょうどそのレッドマッターの話が出ましたけれども、レッドマッターの由来とかアクションゲームにはめったにないこの推理のエレメそれについてお話しいただけますでしょうか。
そうですね。まずレッドマターに関しては最初にお伝えした通り、この地球が異世界によって汚染されているっていう表現を表すためにいろんな場所に散りばめられています。
So just as I said before, the world is under attack and being polluted by this mysterious force, and the red matter is located in different areas to show that the world is actually under attack.
でそれをレギオンを使って先ほどのように除去することができるんですけど、それがアクションゲームとしてはマリオのコインを集めるような遊びになっていたりします。
And actually you can use your legion to steer it around and clean up the red matter that's scattered around, and that becomes kind of like using Mario to collect coins. Like within
I think that's a good way to put it, though. For all of us who like to collect all the coins, or all the red matter. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't move on until I've cleaned up absolutely every bit of red matter there is to clean up. But so what Demetrius is doing here is he sent out his Legion to kind of spy and listen in on this conversation. And that brings up an important point about Legion that I don't know that we've touched on just yet, is the Legion, as a member of Neuron, you're special. You can see the Legion, and you can see the Chimeras, and the other regular folk that aren't part of this special task force cannot see that. So that when that Legion was spying on those guys, they didn't know it was there.
Correct. Okay, so and with that, we gathered 3 police notes, and now we're trying to put it all together. So, well, what can you tell me about the physical characteristics of the Chimera that caused this mess? Well, it has giant hands, obviously.
Seems to.
Saw that great big handprint.
All right, so big handprint.
Why did the Chimera come here?
All right, so
We have a better
why did the Chimera come here? Sam?
Probably to drag someone through the gate.
All right. Excellent choice.
We've been through this before.
We're no rookies.
Now comes the hard part. Iris started. There's no doubt
All right, so we know essentially what the captain is breaking it down over is we know that something serious is happening. This giant hand means that something's threatening this area, and it's going to be up to us to kind of look for this creature, this chimera. We don't know what it looks like, we don't know what it could be, but we're going to hunt down its tracks and kind of get through that. And so here's another use of our Legion and how we're going to do it. I got good listener. Oh, I'm just dropping S's all day. Yeah, perfect. All right, I'm like, where is this going? Okay, so right here, I'm going to bring out my Legion once again, and I'm going to find tracks, and I'm going to use it to essentially...
You've got the trail.
There we go, yeah.
今見てもらってるみたいにレギオンを使えば敵のキメラが残した足跡のような痕跡っていうものを具現化して追いかけるようなことができるようになっています。
So just like you did right now, and like people saw, you can actually use your legions to pick up on the trails that are left behind by enemy chimeras and follow them.
それを追っていくことでターゲットの敵にたどり着くこともあればまた別のものにたどり着いたりとかそういったところもゲームの至るところに入ってたりします。
And there are all over the game. There are places where you follow these tracks and you may wind up at the enemy that left the tracks, or you may wind up at something completely different.
Right.
Oh, before that though, hold on. Let's just take a quick bathroom break. I gotta use the restroom.
Restroom.
It's too much water, right?
Is that right? It said it was an automated toilet.
これはステージに隠されているものでこういったものを見つけると後々いいことがあったりするような隠し要素が他にもトイレ以外にもたくさんあります。
So the toilet that you just saw is hidden in every stage. There's a different toilet, and if you they're a hidden element, and if you find them all, then something good will happen.
That's amazing.
事件解決のためにまっすぐ進むもいいんですけどああやって寄り道してもらったらいろんな発見があったりするのでそこも楽しんでもらいたいです。
And you can just plow straight ahead and go straight to solve whatever the case is that you're on, or you can explore. And the game is made with lots of places to explore in mind.
Yeah, if you explore these environments, there's lots of different things you can find, namely a red matter to clean up, which there's a percentage that appears on the screen when you clean up red matter, and I invite everyone to try and get 100%.
Oh, I know this. Everybody's probably watching like, you missed something.
Yep.
Clean it up. All right, let me try to concentrate so I don't get beat down.
Yeah, we've got a giant gorilla-looking chimera here.
I gotta get in this. What I'm gonna try to do is actually move to the back so I can start getting some crits.
Yeah, you can see the damage numbers. All of the white damage numbers are doing a normal amount of damage. But if you attack the enemy from behind, you'll get those critical attacks. And those are indicated by the yellow damage numbers. Nice dodge.
今プレイヤーキャラクターは銃を撃ってるんですけれども銃以外にも他に2種類の武器がありまして、合計3種類あとレギオンは5種類あるので 3×5 の組み合わせでいろんな戦い方が楽しめるようになってます。
So what you can see right now is Demetrius, as his player, is using the gun mode of the X-Baton, and the X-Baton has 3 different modes. And as far as the number of legions is concerned, you have 5 different legions. So 5 times 3, you have that many different playstyles that you can combine with weapons and legions.
ここまだ序盤なんであんまり持ってないんですけどもどんどんゲームを進めていくとそういったところが増えていくような構成になってます。
This is still the beginning of the game, so Demetrius doesn't have that much to choose from, but as you progress through the game, you get access to more things to use.
Oh, wow. He's taking me down. All right, let me do this and then get some heals.
Good idea.
Nice. あと今警察官が敵になってしまってるんですけどもこれがさっきお伝えしたレッドマターだったりキメラの影響によって人間が変異してしまっている状態ですね。
And you may have seen right now on the combat field that one of the police officers actually transformed into an enemy. And this is actually due to the influence of the Chimera or due to the influence of the red matter that's polluting the world.
Right.
主人公はレギオンとつながることによってその汚染への耐性が強くなっているのでキメラとも対等に戦えるようになっています。そのあたりがシナリオにも深く絡んできます。
And because the player is connected with the Legion, their resistance to red matter is actually stronger, and also they're able to fight on equal levels with the Chimera. And this is actually going to play a bigger part in the story as it goes on.
That's right.
There we go.
Nice work. Oh, I love that, like, kung fu action film 3-cut that you get.
See, I jinxed it. I was getting S's, and then I get to the boss. I knew better than that.
Yeah, there is an option to replay any previous files you've completed, so
you can try and improve your rank.
Yeah, you can.
I got hit too many times there.
Jin here. Do you copy? It sounds like a gate just opened up not far from you two.
Okay. So, essentially what you're seeing here is that actually wasn't the chimera that we were looking for. It wasn't just quite the one. We still know there's something out there with giant hands, and that was coming to that gate. So, what we're going to do here is just kind of keep investigating. And right in front of us, we're going to see that there's a small little rift. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to use my Legion to actually take care of it. There we go. Let's get rid of that. And I'm just...
Are you out of medicine?
I am out of medicine. Right. It's okay. We can get
health
this.
Is low, so that's why the screen is a little bit
yeah, that's why. I'm wounded.
But I really like this attention to detail. It actually reminds me of Nier Automata, which had a similar effect when your health was low.
Okay, so now you can see two people being a little bit rowdy, so I'm just going to subdue them.
Yeah, just because you're a member of the Neuron Special Task Force, that doesn't mean you get out of doing regular police work.
Correct. I want to see if I can find some medicine off. I think there's a chest, so I can get rid of that. Right here.
Oh, there are a couple of them. There you go.
There we go. Okay, now let's continue on. You can see I still see this path here.
The trail ends at that wall.
So the trail ends, but we're going to keep continuing on. I'm going to clean up as much as I can.
Thank you.
Sam won't forgive me, and I can't forgive myself here.
Right, and as Demetrius is cleaning up red matter, we can see the limiter gauge, which is that blue gauge that determines how long a Legion can stay on the field. That goes up, and he's also getting duty points, which is indicated by that logo on the top left.
Kind of looks like a flower to me. All right. I don't think a gun's going to work there.
Yeah, so once again, even though this is a fellow police officer, she can't see the Legion.
You gotta show me how you did that.
This game has
so she's a little surprised.
It's some really, really fun advanced combat, which I'm really happy to show everyone today. So right now I'm just hopping on this motorbike to get to this area. We're going to be playing pretty much, I guess you would say, on File 4, which is like Chapter 4 for everyone at home. Our main investigation is going to be pretty much kind of looking for a certain person, but I'm going to kind of go through a little bit of this area. But while I'm hopping off this bike, why don't we just kind of start with asking Toru-san if he wants to kind of like to discuss the city and world.
まずは田浦さんにお聞きしたいんですけれども、この都会の風景とかその世界観についてお話しいただけますでしょうか。
そうですね。これがですね、人類が今この星が汚染されていっていて逃げ延びている場所になるんですけれども、その中でも一番発展した都会になります。
So what you're seeing right now is the most lively section of where humankind has run off to after their planet Earth has been polluted, and it's within an artificial structure called the Ark.
今ここはとある女性を探すために出撃して出てきてるんですけども、今お話ししてるキャラクターだったりとか他にもいろんなサブキャラクターによってサイドクエストが遊べるようにもなってます。
And even though the player right now is looking for a mysterious character, mysterious woman, characters like the ones that you see right here will show up on the map and you'll be able to pursue side quests with them.
Okay. And yeah, like right here I just had a side quest and in the interest of time, I actually moved on. What I'm going to do actually is move over to this skeptical woman, which what we're going to see here is she's going to actually ask to talk for a second. She has been taking pretty much her trash over to this dumpster because she believes the one that's next to her is actually haunted. So what we're going to do is move on to this next part. And I'm going to actually investigate this haunted dumpster. I'm going to actually start running over here.
And this is something that we mentioned in the first Astral Chain segment, but we should probably reiterate that when she said she thinks her dumpster is haunted, a lot of the effects of this red matter are unseen by a large portion of the population. So sometimes they'll interpret like, oh, I think I saw a ghost. but what they're really seeing is some kind of shadow of the astral plane.
And you'll see here what we actually really found was a gate here. So I'm going to quickly hop into this. And this is going to bring me to like a challenge area where I need to defeat some enemies. Now I'm going to focus and try to do my best to kind of show some cool combat. So I'm going to let Sam here kind of just talk about what I'm going to be doing.
Okay, so he's starting off with a new type of enemy, and there are several different types of enemies in Astral Chain, and you're really going to need to mix up the way you approach them. So right now he's using the Sword Legion, and he just did a finishing move right there. The cool thing about that finishing move is that it will fill his limiter gauge whenever he uses it, so it's really valuable to use those, or to activate those whenever you have the opportunity. He just used the Astral Chain to bind that enemy, and then do a little combo on it, and then do another finishing move. So whenever you see that kind of shine spark, that's going to be a chance for you to do a sync attack. If you press the button right when that spark is shining there, you'll do an auto combo and kind of follow up. And sometimes those shines will appear one after the other, and it feels really satisfying when you nail those sync attacks in a sequence like that.
I'm doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Keep focusing. Now, did I get that other little guy? No, there you are. Where are you going? No, not that guy. This one.
Right, so Demetrius is using a Sword Legion, which is one of the 5 legions that we're actually going to see in action in this segment today. And he did use a special action unique to the Sword Legion, which is the slashing move. He cut the tether binding this Chimera with the other supportive Chimera. So throughout the game, you'll utilize different legions who have different actions, and they'll offer different strategical advantages to match.
Nice.
There we go. I just used a special ability. I was trying to style a little too much. Too fast. Right.
今プレイしていただいてた時に敵にフィニッシュムーブとして敵のコアを引き抜いているようなアクションがあったんですけど、それをうまく重ねていくとレギオンを扱っていられるゲージが回復したりとかするのでよりテンポよく戦っていけるようなシステムになってます。
So what we just saw Demetrius do right now while he was fighting enemies is he had several options to actually pull out the cores of the enemies, and by pulling out the core you can restore your stamina gauge, and also there's other good effects, so it's very good as a player to figure out ways to make good use of that in your playstyle.
Exactly. Now what I'm going to do now, so you saw me just do, no,
please.
I can't.
Thank you.
I kicked
you
it.
Kicked it.
I'm running too fast.
Okay.
Right. There you go. Come here.
Slow it down.
Stop. No. Come here. You know, it just won't let me pick it up. You know what? Fine.
Okay.
It's a rogue can.
Now that it's stopped moving,
I know.
You pick it up.
But I will actually loot this. Medicine. Oh, there's so many. Can I pick this one up? There's
so much litter.
Gonna have to be another one.
Yeah. Please, thank you.
All right. I'm just gonna wait to cross here.
この街こうやって空き缶とかゴミとかもたくさん落ちてるんですけど、そういうの拾ってちゃんとゴミ箱に捨てたりすることで、いいことしたっていうところで警察官としての評価も上がったりします。
So as you noticed before, along this town, there's a lot of different garbage that's spread about. But by picking it up and responsibly throwing it out as you're doing right now, you'll be rewarded and you'll get more points as a police officer.
I could also throw those cans back out, but I'm not going to do that. I'm a good person.
Yeah, you could toss them back into the environment.
All right.
I just forwarded the hologram footage of Jenna from the security cameras to your legatus.
Exactly. So what we're doing now is we're looking for someone named Jenna. So I'm going to start questioning some people. Now, to start off with this, I'm going to actually hack into this camera and analyze it. Oops. Let me get better. There we go. Oh, prompt. There we go.
So we should reiterate, just in case some folks maybe missed the first Astral Chain segment, but you're a member of Neuron, which is a special police task force, and as a member of Neuron, you yourself are special in that you can see your legion, and you can see some of the enemies called chimeras, and a lot of the regular folk, even regular police officers, can't see that stuff.
Correct. And you also wanted to go ahead and explain what we have for police notes as well. While we're doing this. So police notes, I'm getting different clues to kind of find out the whereabouts of Jenna. So when you see these like red keywords, these are going to be added to my police notes, which I can kind of just pull back up and review at another time.
Iris, shut down.
And I'm going to turn my iris off. for that. I mean,
we mentioned red matter a little bit earlier, and I was wondering if Taro-san could elaborate on what red matter is for maybe some of the viewers who are just joining us for this segment.
少し前にレッドマッターの話が出てきたと思いますけれども、今、田原さんにレッドマッターについてもうちょっとお話しいただけますでしょうか。
そうですね、この世界が今汚染されているっていうことがこのレッドマターを通して表現していることになるんですけど、汚染によって一般市民たちがレッドマターの近くにいるとどんどん凶暴化していって敵のようになってしまうっていうような現象があります。
So, the red matter exists as a way to display to the player and to other people that this world is actually under attack and being polluted. If general people are standing too close to the red matter for too long, then they'll be affected by it and be corrupted and go mad and become enemies.
あとさっきからプレイで見せてもらってるように、レギオンを使ってその汚染されているレッドマターに近づけるとそこを浄化することができるので、そうすることで警察としての評価も上がりますし、マリオのコインを集めるような楽しいプレイもできたりします。
So, and you saw this a little bit before, but if you use your Legion and move it close to the red matter that's shown on the field, then your Legion will actually pick up the red matter, kind of like how Mario would be picking up coins. So by cleaning up the red matter, you can actually raise your level or your points as a police officer.
There we go. Sorry, that guy was getting a little rowdy with me. So just for those who are wondering what just happened there, this guy is a fanboy of a singer. And when I showed the image of the person we're looking for, he mistakenly thought it was his singer. And he asked me, well, why are you looking for her? And I said, well, I'm looking for this person who's a wanted fugitive. He didn't hear that, and he got upset and thought I was trying to arrest his favorite person in the world, which is not true. So I just kind of calmed him down a bit, and we're going to move on.
Yeah, I really like that. Even the NPCs that populate the arc, they all have their own personalities, and they're going about their lives, and you can interact with them as a police officer as you investigate cases.
All right, can we keep moving on? And then in the meantime, too, I actually have this guy here. He was actually looking for this food area called Larger Burger. The easily lost man. So I'm taking him back right now to this area, and this will give me my last keyword that I need. That's going to go into my police notes. You'll see that my progress bar will now be 100%. So perfect. All right. So now what this is going to do is lead me to actually locate Jenna. So this is perfect.
Just going to leave that red matter?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not sure why, but if I keep collecting it, it's just going to be all kinds of crazy. So I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm just going to move on to the next area here. And because I know we're limited on time, I want to kind of just make it through as much as possible. So there's Jenna. What I'm going to kind of do here.
We have visual confirmation of the suspect at the Central Harmony Square intersection.
So that's her.
Anderson, hold her right there.
I kind of just speed through this time.
Right? They found Jenna. Get over there.
All right, I'll get over there. Cue the chase music.
But if you weren't speeding through this section, there'd be all kinds of different people to talk to and side quests to gather.
Oh, I can't just get over there. True. The path that I just took is actually one way. Oh man, I am just terrible with cams right now. All right, let's get over here. I'm just gonna avoid this because it's just not working right now. Okay. So as you can see, Jenna has something very mysterious about her. So right now, they're pretty much telling me not to really go in and chase her, but I'm going to go right in anyway and just go right into it. All right, so we're going to drop right into it. Now this is going to be like a full dive into the astral plane. Something that's really cool. And you're going to see not only search for this person, you're going to kind of see us now incorporate some puzzle elements along with some combat as well. I'm going to get scolded essentially from this officer, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to kind of keep moving on. What I'm going to do here is you're going to see there is this little thing. I'm going to shoot it.
So he's just switched to his Arrow Legion in order to do
I'll
that.
start using now.
アクーさんは今見てもらったみたいにレギオンを使ったパズル要素だったりとかバトル以外のギミックもたくさん入っているので現実世界の方ではできないような遊びがたくさん含まれています。
And you just saw that right now, but in this separate world, there's other ways to play besides just regular battle. You saw that there was some puzzle stuff, and there's other stuff as well that you wouldn't be able to have in the real world. play segments.
この世界に入ってしまうと人間は本当は汚染されてしまうんですけども、主人公はこのレギオンとつながっているっていう特性があるためにその汚染から逃れられているっていうような設定も入っています。
And if a regular person were to enter this world, then they'd slowly become polluted and get corrupted. But because the main character is connected with the Legion, they're kind of protected against being polluted, and that actually factors into the setting of this world.
Which is really, really neat.
Yeah.
One thing also I want to do, since I'm now inside the astral plane, I wanted to kind of quickly show you guys the skill tree. So as I said before, there's a lot of depth to this game. Yesterday we kind of went over some stuff, and we just talked about sync attacks. There's also different skills you can assign to different legions. So if you look here, you actually see there's a skill tree. I've been playing this for a little bit, so you see that I've actually unlocked different skills. But when you're playing through the game, you'll actually get what's called gene codes and other material. And right here, for example, I can actually purchase and get an auto-bind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press A. I'm going to administer the genes here. Should I have enough? All right. So I'm going to decide on that. And see how also it unlocked a new area. So not only do I have a new ability, now I can also manually control using my Legion as well. So there's so many crazy cool options. I can't wait to see so many people do that. Now, for the skill I just got, I can actually assign it to X or Y. I'm going to keep what I have now because I really like using Round Sword and Hit Rush because it does some really fancy stuff. But just know that's just how one Legion is affected. Like I can do it for other stuff too. So I have Air Shot and Hit Rush as well. Okay.
So taking a look at that skill tree, there were a lot of different things on there. Some of those were active abilities that you had to assign to slots in order to use them. But some of those are passives also that'll just kind of give you a buff here or there. And I was wondering if we could ask Tara-san to talk a little bit about the skill tree and about some of the customization that you can do with your character.
今、タオラさんにお聞きしたいんですけれども、その各、レギオンにおけるスキルツリーの機能についてご説明いただけますでしょうか。もうちょっとご説明いただけますでしょうか。
スキルツリーの機能、
はい、そうですね。
レギオン5体いまして、で、それぞれに対してスキルツリーが存在しているので、まず成長させたいなっていうレギオンを自由に選んで、それぞれ獲得したポイントを、そのレギオンに対して使っていくっていうところがあるので、どのレギオンを育てるのかみたいなところにもすごい自由があって楽しんでいけると思います。
So each of the separate legions has their own skill tree, like the one that you saw before, and you can essentially take the points that you've accumulated and put them into the legions that you like and earn skills that you want to get. And it offers the player the freedom of picking the legion that they want to make stronger and focusing the points that they've accumulated into that legion.
それぞれに似たような技ももちろんあるんですけれども、アックスレギオンっていうレギオンだったらガードに特化した技が入っていたりとか、ビーストレギオンだったら敵をちょっと翻弄するような技が入ってたりとか、それぞれに特化した技ももちろんスキルツリーで覚えることができるので、どの技が欲しいかによってルートをチョイスしたりするような楽しみもあります。
And while there are some skills within the separate trees between the legions that may resemble one another, there are those that are different. Like, for example, the Axe Legion has different skills involving protection, or the Beast Legion has different ones involving how the ways that it tracks enemies and attacks enemies and things like that. There is a lot of diversity and customization in the way that the skills work between the different legions.
新しいアクションはそれでどんどん増えていくのでしっかり強化していってもらいたいなと思います。
And of course, as you're playing, you'll keep getting new and new skills. So, I'd like for players to, keep making their legions stronger.
Oh, absolutely.
The guy was a little tough on me. I was not expecting that one. I'm gonna go ahead and zip over here.
I personally really like that your main character, the police task force, it's represented by the color blue as well as the Legion, and a lot of the Chimera and the environment we see in the Astral Plane currently is themed after the color red. I'm wondering if Mr. Tara could just give a little bit more background on what some of his design inspirations, perhaps, of how the Astral Plane looks and plays.
今まで見ているとなんかこう見方だと青色で代表されているで敵だったら赤い、はい、そのようななんかこうデザインチョイスについてご説明いただけますでしょうか。
そうですね、もうそこは単純に、青の方が警察のクリーンなイメージがあって、赤はちょっとその反対として位置づけているので、一番最初に敵は赤、味方は青っていう風に決めてしまって、後のデザインはそこからの流れで自然な形で配置していきました。
So, as far as the color choice between enemies and allies goes, that was simply that blue tends to be like a clean type of color that represents the police, and red is something that tends to be opposite blue, so that would be good for representing enemies. So that's essentially how we decided to choose the color scheme for this game.
でこのプレイヤーキャラクターの方は青と白が基本的なモチーフになってるんですけど、ゲームを進めていくとその反対カラーの黒と赤っていうモチーフになったキャラクターみたいなのも実は出てきたりしますので、そのあたりも楽しみにしてもらいたいなと思います。
And as far as the player's color scheme goes, their motif is represented by blue and white. But as you progress later in the game, there's actually a rival character or characters who will show up who are represented by black and red. So that motif kind of continues along that way, and I'd like for players to look forward to it.
So Demetrius has just entered into a new combat encounter here with some more difficult enemies. They're airborne, and he's using a switch, using the weapon called the X baton, which can morph into different forms. You can use it in its baton form, which gives you kind of quick attacks. Right now he's got it in its kind of gladius form, which is like a big heavy attack. And then he can also switch it into a gun form, which is really good for attacking some of these airborne enemies here. He's also using the Arrow Legion, which is another good way to hit some of these guys up in the air.
Yeah, I'm trying to get those focused on... Nope, that's not what I wanted to do with this one. You know what? Let me switch back, because this guy...
敵の形状もこんな感じで空飛んでるやつがいたり、さっきみたいに地上にいるやつがいたりっていうところでいろんなバリエーションがありますので、その敵に合わせてプレイヤーの武器、あとはレギオンの種類みたいなのをつどつど組み合わせながら戦っていくのが楽しい戦い方になってます。
And one of the fun ways to fight different enemies that you see is, you may have noticed that there are enemies that are flying in the air, there are enemy types that are on the ground, and so the player has the ability to choose to find out which of the combinations of legion and weapon type is most suited for fighting those kinds of enemies.
Right. So you've got kind of a combination here where you have these you have these harpy-like flying enemies, but they're being protected by a little satellite drone.
Pretty tough. I try to get out of this right now.
So even though the Arrow Legion is great for airborne enemies, he's having to switch to the Sword Legion in order to use the Slash Legion action and sever the tie between the protection drone and the enemy that it's protecting.
Where is the other one? Am I missing it? Where is... there you are.
この小さいキャラクターは近くにいる敵を強化するっていう特殊な能力があるんで、さっきみたいに攻撃が全然効かなくなっちゃうんで、まずこいつを倒すっていうような戦法が有効になります。
And as you see, this enemy right before you has the ability to strengthen other enemies that you're fighting. So the most efficient way to handle that situation is to actually take down these floating enemies first, because as you saw before, you can't damage the enemies being strengthened.
No, what?
This is really difficult.
Yeah,
this
it really
section here.
I'm trying to get into this combo. There we go.
It's quite a bit of challenge. So some of the yellow damage numbers, we mentioned this before, the yellow damage numbers indicate a critical attack.
Oh gosh,
and you can get those
on.
Yeah, you can get those by attacking the enemy from behind.
Trying to get them wrapped up. They're just flying away right now. This is
and
why.
I like that Demetrius is demonstrating he could use his blaster form of his X baton to attack airborne enemies at a distance, but he can also use his Legion and jump to the enemy's location, the aerial combo that way. So it's really up to the player if they want to focus on using one Legion or if they want to cycle through multiple ones and just explore different ways of action.
It's so tough.
Can you get them wrapped up? Are they low enough?
That's what I'm trying to get right now. It's little...
Oh, wait.
Get over here.
Nice.
There you go. Let me get in there. Okay, hold on.
You only got one.
More energy spike. That'll recover my limiter gauge.
Right, so the item that he just used was called an energy spike.
There you go.
And he was running low on his limiter gauge, and that limiter gauge decreases whenever your Legion is active.
There. Oh, now they only needed one hit. I just had to get away and stop getting teamed up on. Oh my goodness! So that started out great. And what I did is I wasn't focusing quite on those two guys. I should have did a little bit tighter there. That's not going to be too good. I know I could have did that quite a bit faster, but again, this is one of those ways where you just play over. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'll take it.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, I was explaining myself out of a C rank, but I think it's okay. So that is what I wanted to show here, but we're not quite done yet. What we would like to do now is show some really good expert play with Tara-san himself. He's going to actually use all 5 Legion. And you're going to see some really, really cool fights. So I'm just going to go ahead and set my controller down. And then once we can kind of move over to the other screen here, we'll begin with some expert gameplay, as I'd like to call it. All right. Yeah, are we ready to switch it over? Let's see. Just waiting. Well, as we do that in the meantime, as we switch over. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So what I see here is a boss. And you're going to see essentially Tara-san, who's really, really good at switching back and forth between different Legion. This boss itself takes a lot of concentration to dodge in and out in between her attacks. In particular, like this attack right here, you're going to see a lot of different laser fire. And what Tara-san's doing is using the Beast Legion to kind of ride along that. So perfect example of using a Legion to avoid. And now you're seeing
Not
him
even
actually
just avoid, yeah.
Ooh, got struck by lightning.
He's putting some pressure on him also.
Yeah. So there we go.
Nice.
And I have to work on. I'm in such awe of seeing Tara-san here switch so fast.
Right.
Between Legion. It's something I'm still close trying to get good at working on. Right here is the example of an Axe Legion. The Axe Legion actually brings up a shield and allows you to temporarily block. It's really, really great and really, really effective. And there's a lot of other abilities as well.
And you're going to see
heavy hitter.
Yeah, you're going to see Tara-san use that quite a lot.
Yes, really good right there. Sending your Legion up and then following through to try to get an air combo. So right there, Tara-san unchained his first Legion, followed up and switched to a second Legion to use what was pretty much like the bow mode and start firing arrows.
Yeah,
excellent use of multiple Legion.
Yeah, when you unchain a Legion, they'll kind of continue on with their own combo, and you can actually summon another Legion while that Legion is still out and have multiple Legion on the battlefield simultaneously.
Exactly. Right, and that is one example of a skill that you can unlock from the skill tree. So it does take a little bit of progression in order to get there. But I do enjoy seeing him just switching so quickly between different Legions, managing his health with items, pulling off active combos.
Oh, I forgot to use the sword. I forgot to use that ability. Okay.
And he just nailed that sync attack there, which gave him a little follow-up hit.
Yeah, we're looking good. The boss is almost at half health. This right here is the arm, short for Armor Legion. You can actually wear that Legion and then use it like a pseudo armor. I kind of think of it like a boxer. It's really, really fun.
So I think he just popped an energy spike there.
This boss is very, very tough. It's really impressive to see how he can just switch back and forth. Okay, we're moving. We got this going.
So he's got the
excellent
nice
use right there.
Clutch.
Perfect sync attack follow-up.
Yeah, nailing it with the sync attack.
All right, here she comes again.
And then using that Beast Legion to get out of the way.
Yeah, and then right there, you are chain jumping is what we call it, to follow through and to get back up. So that's what Tara-san's using right now, is chain jumping to get up into the air. Right there, he blocked the attack from the ground, which you saw that spike. So he was using the Axe Legion to actually guard that. All right, a little bit of healing. Perfect. Oh, yeah. There we go. A little more unchained.
Yeah, so he's just unchained that Legion.
There we go. Nice little sync attack. Perfect timing.
Nice.
Ooh. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, that was perfect. Oh, I didn't even know you could do that like that.
Yeah, that Axe Legion is incredibly useful.
Yeah. And there are different abilities you can get too, which, I'm sorry, when I was playing, I don't know if you guys covered that. But there are different abilities you can get, like parrying and stuff, which is also really, really cool.
Oof. Yeah, this boss. Oh.
まあ死んじゃいましたけど、でもこっからさらに復活して強くなりますので大丈夫です。
I may have died right here, but from here I'm gonna come back and be stronger than ever. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that just kind of highlights just how challenging this boss fight really is.
Oh, I got nothing but respect. For
Yeah.
This boss fight is a lot of fun, and it's a great example of using like all your skill tool sets, and it's really cool. There we go.
Nice work.
All right, so one boss down. So we're gonna pause here.
サイズのボス戦だったんですけど、今回ちょっと大きめのボス戦をご紹介します。
So what you saw me fighting before was a boss that's the same size as me, but this is something that is way bigger.
I'm still cracking up that none of us thought to actually bust the gel. When we saw that yesterday in practice, we were all like, what? Such a great use of that right there. So you get stuck in it, and it's difficult, but you can actually use your chain to break it.
He's doing things that I didn't know that you could do here. Exactly what you're talking about, like wrapping up. If you get too close to those, you'll get stuck in them.
Look out for the slam. Oh, nice dodge. Okay, so this is what we call the homunculus. That's one of the name of this enemy, rather. Excuse me. Ooh,
nice,
excellent dodge.
Wow.
So those were all perfect dodges.
Right.
And if you dodge in the last second, you can actually release a sync attack, and you can do it using your character, or you can follow up using your Legion. So he's doing various ones. That right there was a perfect dodge with a sync attack using your Legion. All right, so excellent.
It's like a little safe space over there.
And then what you're seeing him do is he's tapping the ZL button to send his Legion up in the air and go directly attack the homunculus. Because you're seeing critical hit damage. That's what that yellow in the numbers indicating. Right now you're seeing kind of white damage, so it's just basic damage. Then he's going to go back up. There's that critical hit damage. He's trying to follow up too to get some more attacks in there.
Yeah, but he knew that attack was coming, so he canceled.
So now he's knocked it down.
Nice.
There we go. He's going to unchain, switch to a different Legion, and then just go ham.
Holy cow.
I really like that the previous boss was a little more mobile. They were also in the air, so it required a different type of strategy. We see this boss is a little bit more centered, but more attacks coming from the side. And again, the battlefield has just transformed.
Yeah, this is a bonker sequence.
今見てもらってるみたいにバトルの最中にステージがどんどん変化していって、このステージに関してはレギオンを使って移動したりみたいなこともできるようになってます。
And as you were just talking about, and as you just saw, in the middle of the battle, the stage actually changes shape, but you can use the Legion to actually move around the stage between the broken up parts of it.
Yeah, what we're going to do now, what Taro-san's trying to do now, he saw that he got the left arm, now he's trying to get the right arm chained. What this will do... Oh!
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I never get sick of seeing that last minute switch to the Axe Legion.
So he's switching to that Axe Legion so quickly to protect himself from that attack.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And he's going to do it again.
Again.
Perfect example. All right, now we're going to
change. Switches back to sword.
And block. All right, maybe he can get it right there. Yeah, he's got it.
Oh, no.
He's a big guy, but he moves pretty
mobile,
fast.
Yeah. He's going to probably,
Okay.
All right. This one, he's got it.
Oh my gosh.
Slippery little sucker. So another way he's going to do it too, he's going to use the Arrow Legion to kind of shoot at its head, because remember, remember that I was saying that the weak points on the enemy here, the homunculus, was its head. So yeah, both arms are chained down now, so it's just going to pile on the damage by doing all kinds of abilities here. And there we go. Good
sync attack. Another sync attack.
Now he can go back to the face, and then there we go. He's going to probably do a lot more sync damage. You can see the homunculus's health is going down really fast now. Okay. Nice shots. Oh, that's so much. Whoa! That was close.
Seeing Taro-san play here, it was clear why I had such a hard time with this boss.
Yeah, he's almost got him. Oh, blocked. Yes. Perfect. All right, he's going to move.
And he's getting his hits in where he can.
Yeah, he's going to reposition one last
nice. Styling.
Perfect. Now we're just going to show the little cutscene here at the end. But yeah, that was That was perfect.
That was amazing
That
to
was
see.
great.
こうやって倒した後も、これで終わりかと思いきや、まだこの先も実は続きます。
You may think that now that you've beaten the boss that it's the end, but actually it keeps going on, and so there's a lot more that you have to look forward to right from here on out. You're just going to see.
All right. And